Mockingbird.
Don't everybody have you heard?
Is it worth it?
What's up, nerds? Let's jump right in. Mockingbird is a 5 energy 9 power card that reads costs 1 less for each card you have in play that didn't start in your deck. Overall impressions of Mockingbird before I get into the details. This card is just solid. It's not going to blow anyone's mind, it's not going to be super exciting to play, but its general usability, flexibility, versatility, stability, nobility, visibility, all those, it's unquestionable. No matter what style of deck you like to play, or what archetypes you usually roll with, if you pick up Mockingbird, I think you will find a home for it, no matter what. I mean, just real quick, look at all the cards that reduce our cost. This is a lot of cards. There's a lot of different cards. Mechanics of Mockingbird and some notable things we should point out. I mean, the card is really simple, but yeah, this is all I got. Yeah, the card's gonna get reduced, duh. I mean, you know how that works. We've all played She-Hulk before or whatever, so that's not tricky. So I guess the only things to point out here is what reduces Mockingbird. Any token, Mr. Sinister, Brood, Mysterio, Squirrel Girl, generated cards, which basically means every shield card, I guess you could say, especially most notably Sentinel, will reduce. Everyone past the first Sentinel will reduce Mockingbird. Any card sent to your side of the board, like Goblins, Annihilus, Hood, the Void, if those get shipped over to you, it's gonna suck, but at least your Mockingbird will get a little bit cheaper. And then finally, Infinity Stones. The 5 stones are revealed at the beginning of the game and shuffled into your deck. They don't start in your deck. And then the second thing I have here is really the only ways I could think of to shut down Mockingbird. The first is Mobius M. Mobius. It's gonna stop her from being reduced. Sure, yeah. But aside from that, the only 2 things that from scrolling through the cards that I could tell would stop Mockingbird is Leech and Spider-Ham. All right, what are the good parts about Mockingbird? So I mentioned this quickly before. We'll go ahead and throw it up on the screen here. But there are so many things to reduce the cost of this card. I mean, just look at all these. At some point, whatever kind of deck you're using, you're probably going to be able to use Mockingbird at least moderately well. The second good thing is she's great if the cost is reduced at all. If she gets down to 4, it's an okay card. If she gets down to 3,
I like that.
well, I mean, what other card in the game gives you 9 power for 3 energy? Not much, really. And I think it's pretty safe to say that getting Mockingbird down to 3 is going to be super simple. And the last thing here I put is combo potential. And by that, I just mean basically Mood Girl. Or like Mockingbird, I'll rephrase that. Mockingbird is a card that like you could get silly with it, like with Moon Girl shenanigans or whatever else you nerds come up with. But it's still going to be solid. It's not like magical Christmas land to make Mockingbird even better than she is already. Now, I've been talking a lot of nice stuff about Mockingbird, so here's the bad stuff. The only things I could come up with are, number 1, it requires subpar cards. Now, yeah, cards that generally give you tokens or something, they need to be run in a specific type of deck. Patriot is the easiest example. Cards that make tokens are usually good with Patriot, but those cards without the supporting cards like Patriot, or with the shield cards like Quinjet and Devil Dino, are usually subpar cards.
Stinky.
They generate cards for you in the shield example, and with the tokens example, you're getting low power for a wide effect. So in general, like Squirrel Girl, Debris, those cards are kind of lower on the power level scale, but then they're brought up by the other cards you put in your deck. So if you're just trying to run Mockingbird in like a generic deck, then you're going to end up putting some bad cards in your deck. That's why you're probably going to have to put stuff like Patriot or Devil Dino, Quinjet. There's some other stuff, but those are the only 2 that are on my mind right now. And then that relates to the second bad thing about Mockingbird is board space. Anything that produces a token or puts additional stuff onto the board, it's going to take up a lot of board space. And that makes it to where you sometimes can't put as much power down as you want. I mean, we've all played a Patriot deck that you put a Squirrel Girl and Debris down or something, and you didn't draw a Patriot. It feels bad. All right, here are the two deck lists that I thought of when I was thinking about Mockingbird. Duh. I'm just saying words to say words now. But anyways, the first one up here is like the shield stuff that I was talking about earlier. You have card generation with Agent 13, Maria Hill, Sentinel. I think Sentinel is the best card to use with Mockingbird because every one past the first one is a reduction on Mockingbird. And with Quinjet, you're basically paying 1 to get 3 power plus reduce Mockingbird. And then we have the big stuff here. We got Moongirl to copy your Devil Dino and Coal Obsidian and Mockingbird. Your nice power plays there. So you can get out 2 Coal Obsidians, 2 Devil Dinos, and 2 Mockingbirds pretty easily in any given game that you actually pull off a Moongirl play. And then we have Collector here as just a cheap power play. But yeah, this is the first list here. This Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. stuff is where I'm going to try Mockingbird. And I think it's really cool to put her with Coal and Dino because it's not going to be hard to play either of those cards. So yeah, you're going to be dumping 2 Coal Obsidians and 2 Mockingbirds. It seems solid. And then the second thing I think is probably the most obvious thing that people think of when they look at Mockingbird, and it's a Patriot deck that uses token generators. We have Squirrel Girl, Mysterio, and Debris to all reduce the cost of Mockingbird. Mockingbird will very easily be completely free in this deck. And then we have Patriot, Mystique, Blue Marvel, and Khazar to buff everything up. We have Dazzler and Ant-Man for some extra power. And then Blue Marvel as another, I already said Blue Marvel. Yeah. But yeah, if you want like a safe testing deck for Mockingbird when it first comes out, play the Patriot one. It's like bound to be decent. All right, my overall recommendation for Mockingbird and whether or not you should use tokens or spotlight keys to pick her up. Well, this one is easy. So as far as keys go, using keys and opening up spotlight caches, if you don't have Miss Marvel, then you should absolutely open for Mockingbird because you can get Miss Marvel too. And it's arguably better than Mockingbird. It's the best 4-drop in the game. So yeah, if you don't have Miss Marvel, absolutely go for it. Open for Mockingbird and you'll also get one of the best cards in the game. Man Thing is, it's cute, it's fun, but it doesn't really matter here. Now, as far as tokens go, I usually say not many cards are worth tokens. Like 6k tokens is a lot and you need to be like a High Evo or a Thanos or some card that opens up several decks to be worth the 6k tokens, but I think Mockingbird is almost there. I think when all the dust is settled and all said and done, I think Mockingbird will find 3 or 4 homes that she's just solid in. So I have to say, if you have extra tokens and you just really want Mockingbird, I think she's a safe pickup. Now, if you're debating on whether or not you should get Mockingbird or like War Machine or Cannonball this month, and you can only choose one, I would say probably wait for War Machine. But aside from that, I think Mockingbird is a totally good grab. All right, that's the video. A cool card. I can't wait to throw this in like 10 different decks and try it out. Let me know what you guys come up with and what decks you are playing or with in the comments section below. But for now, that's it. Later, nerds.